Ballerina movie review: an effective origin story that expands the John Wick universe set around the third installment of the John Wick film series. Ballerina is the story of another assassin from that world who defies the rules and faces consequences. With action set pieces that are increasingly bloody and creative, a well-etched character arc, and a similar philosophical core to its parent series, Ballerina turns out to be an effective companion piece to the John Wick films. However, if you are someone who finds yourself in the theater unaware of the franchise's legacy, Ballerina might come across as an excuse for a series of incredibly sophisticated fight sequences stitched together by a semblance of a story. As an origin story, Ballerina takes a familiar root: an orphaned child, robbed of her innocence, with a burning vengeance deep in her heart, that doesn't let her choose a path that would save her from getting her hands bloody. Eve Macaro Ana de Armas, as a child, witnesses her father die at the hands of a cult while saving her from their grasp. She grows up with her father's family, which turns out to be the Ruscaroma, the same criminal organization that John Wick belongs to. Under the mentorship of its director Angelica Houston, Eve is taught to become an assassin and, more importantly, to fight like a girl. However, that's the extent to which the film explores gender politics, as there isn't a lot of depth to Eve, and she does almost everything John would have done in her place. As Eve grows up to become an able assassin, during one of her contracts, she comes across a man from the cult that killed her father, forcing her to pursue the path of revenge. The director attempts to stop her, citing an ancient pact between Ruscaroma and the cult, but Eve bites into the forbidden fruit and is cast out from the garden. That's when the series of action set pieces begin, but you don't mind, as they get better with every passing minute. The scene that joins one action sequence to another is not as invisible as one would want it to be. The mechanics become evident. Even the subplot of Eve's sister doesn't do much. What works is the parallel the film draws between Eve and John. While John's presence in the film feels a bit fortuitous, he doesn't affect the eventual outcome of the plot. He adds weight in a different quarter. The idea of choice, a recurring philosophical motif of the John Wick films, is dealt with here too. John Wick is the story of a former monster's return to his old ways. This one is about the origin of one. John knows choices have consequences, but Eve Macaro learns it. Yet both make the same choice, leaving you with another philosophical question: do choices make a person, or are you who you are on their first meeting? Eve asks him if it is possible to walk out of the door. John says, she still has a choice. While such meanderings are not what makes one go to John Wick films, they make them stand out from the rest of the garden variety revenge sagas. Latest blogs.